Hi guys, I'm Andy. Welcome back to Backpacking UK. If hiking, backpacking and wild camping are your thing, please hit that subscribe button because that's what this channel's all about. Right, today, really excited because I get to test and review what is possibly the lightest tent in the world. This is the Durston X-Mid Pro 1. So it's a one-person trekking pole tent, but it is unbelievably light. This is 499 grams. It's ridiculous. Now, I've got the X-Mid 1 solid, which weighs twice what this does. So mine's a real fatty. It still actually weighs less than 1 kilo, which is bonkers. So just to prove it, I've got my X-Mid 1 solid on there, 948 grams. And then the X-Mid Pro 1, 488 grams. But this is just in a different league. So how have Durston managed to do that? Now, this is made of DCF fabric, which is a Dyneema Composite Fabric with a really high strength to weight ratio. It also uses a 15D fabric for the floor, so it's just uber light. It's really is. But they say it's also storm resistant too. Now, this DCF fabric is just so strong. It's unbelievably strong, and it doesn't stretch, which is absolutely brilliant if you're on a flat bit of ground. But like me, when I try and get up into the mountains, you know, finding a flat bit of ground isn't that great, hence why I've got the traditional type of tent with traditional tent fabrics. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pitch this for you to have a look at today. I've already used the X-Mid 1 solid myself, so I know how good the tent is, but I just want to see what the differences are today. So this costs $599, which is about £530 at the moment. However, being in the UK, you've got to pay VAT and duty, as well as obviously delivery charges from the USA. So in British pounds, this is £700. But it's ridiculously light, and if you're planning on a proper backpacking trip and need a proper backpacking tent, the Durston X-Mid Pro 1 could be that one. So let's get this tent pitched. Right, so let's take a look around the Durston X-Mid Pro 1 backpacking tent. So it's a really distinctive shape. This is very clever design. This DCF fabric is virtually transparent. It's so thin. It really is super light, but you've still got a vent by each trekking pole. You've got fully taped seams. You've still got lots of places to peg your tent out so you can pitch it properly. And it's a windy day today, and it's really quite stable. I'm quite surprised. So I didn't think it would be as stable as my tent, but it's really strange fabric. I've never seen this DCF fabric before. It's totally different to the normal sort of nylon that you see. So size wise, we're looking at about 32 centimeters by approximately, say, about 14 centimeters. So a little feature here, just to tie the door back, is actually a tiny little magnet, which is quite a cool feature. So the Pro 1 trekking pole tent is a mesh tent. That is partly why it's so light. But as you can see, you still get a really good sized vestibule on both sides. You get 2 doors on both sides as well, and you get this really nice living space. So let's take a look inside the Durston X-Mid Pro one. So this is your sleeping area. Now, as you can see, you've got that door on the other side. You've also got a pocket, and you've got a pocket both sides, which on an ultralight tent like this, you wouldn't really expect. So it's sort of a single skin hybrid type tent. This is how you attach the inner, just with a bit of elastic there. So it's definitely more of a summer tent. Now, I've got these trekking poles set at 115 centimetres. I know some people put them up to 120, but I just think that gives you a huge amount of space between the fly and the floor. So this is 115, and I think it really suits this one person backpacking tent. So here we are inside the Durston X-Mid Pro 1 tent. Now, it's exactly the same size as my cheaper solid version. So it's around about 228 centimetres long by 81 centimetres wide. It's a big tent inside. I mean, you could have a really wide and a really long sleeping mat in here easily. You can be a really, really tall person and you'll still have plenty of space in this tent. And even the ends, they're actually fairly vertical when they go up. So you won't wake up in the morning licking the condensation off the fly. So you've got all this space inside. It's absolutely super. Tons of headroom if you sit in the right places, which is by the trekking pole on either side. Now, I'm assuming you've got 115 centimetres of head height. I'm 5'8", 172 centimetres, and there's just lots and lots of space in front of my head. Now, my version of this tent, so just cheaper version, I absolutely love it. It's the design so well thought out. It really, really is. I've got the tarp tent, a Stratosphere one as well, another tent that is absolutely superb. For me, I like the tarp tent Scut one as well because of this. It's a small tent, yet has two vestibules, and I think that's such a cracking idea because I can put my backpack, and if I've got any wet gear, that can go on one side, and I can still do my cooking on the other side as well. If the wind changes, I can just go out the other vestibule. It's just such a well designed and thought out tent. Now, my thoughts on this tent, and one of my subscribers, Ben, cheers mate, has lent me his brand new tent for me to have a look at. Promise, Ben, it won't be on eBay later on. But it's just, the weight is just unbelievable. It's actually, I think, 499 grams. It's just astonishing. And how strong the tent is as well. I know the fabric doesn't look like it, but the DCF fabric's been tried and tested. This looks like really well made. Even it's got real thick taped zips on there as well. It's got two pockets. It's got two vent ports on it as well. It's unbelievable that you can have a tent this big that is strong, that weighs that much. Now, the downside is 100%. It's got to be the cost. It's a £700 tent, and there literally isn't a lot for your money. I know it's cheaper in the States. You know, they're dead lucky over there with their sort of lightweight tents. Would I buy it? No, because for just a few more grams, okay, sort of 400–500 grams, my tent has got solid mesh and it's still under 1 kilo, which is still extraordinarily light. It really, really is. But mine, I think, costs more like $250. You know, I think I bought mine including taxes and VAT for about £350, something about there. So it's basically like half price. Where I would be really interested in this tent is if I was doing a big hiking trip, something where I wanted to cover lots of miles in a day, and weight was everything. I just needed ultralight kit throughout. I would seriously consider this tent. But it's an absolute cracker. I love innovative backpacking gear like this, just pushing the boundaries of materials, the weight, just the designs as well. It's just superb, and I know not everyone can afford it, or very few people can, but I do truly believe innovators like Durston are changing the game for all of us. So it's super. So I'd like to say big thanks to Ben. I'll put his Insta in the description. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'll put everything in the description, all the specifications of this tent. But do please check out my other videos, and hope to see you backpacking soon. Cheers.